Eyjafjalla is a 6-star core caster. She released alongside the other original 6-star operators when Arknights released, and is currently only available from the Colonel Headhunting banners. Eyja, full name Adele Naumann, has no combat experience whatsoever, likely because she mainly works as a volcanologist and catastrophe messenger. She stands at 145 centimeters tall, was born on the 18th of October in Lithuanian, and is of the Caprinae race, specifically a sheep. In her archive files and promotion record, it's noted that when Eyja first arrived at Rhodes Island, her odd behavior, struggling to understand others and bumping into things, led many to dismiss her as a visiting sibling or an intern. Days later, however, the executives approved her as an official operator for missions and arts research, revealing her as a legend from Lithuanian's top academies. While some hoped her presence would energize the arts department, others worried about the uncertain future of an infected like her. Eyja was born to a prominent academic family in Lithuanian, lost her parents, professors at William University, during a volcanic survey tied to their study of natural catastrophes. Determined to continue their work, she brought their treasured volcano report to Rhodes Island, focusing on long-term on-site research despite the risks. The uriginum-rich volcanic environment that advanced her studies is also believed to have caused her oropathy. Eyja's oropathy has severely impacted her hearing, though Rhodes Island's treatment has slowed its progression. She uses a hearing aid, loud repetition, or expressive body language to communicate, with gestures like nodding or head shaking reflecting her understanding. For instance, nodding with a positive expression signals clear communication, while glassy-eyed looks or surprised head shaking suggest misunderstandings. Patience and careful clarification are essential to ensure effective dialogue with her. Eyja's thesis, including the works like The Impact of Underground Uriginum Veins on Volcanic Cycles, poses bold and dangerous questions about the link between uriginum and natural catastrophes. A speaker at a closed-door conference likened humanity's reliance on uriginum to ants feeding on carrion, growing stronger for survival while preparing for potential future threats. Despite the risks, they concluded her research should continue, at least until she determines her own path forward. Eyja's little black sheep, gifts from her late mother, resemble ordinary animals but are unusually submissive and sluggish, often napping or helping her with tasks like moving books. Despite their size, they are rarely seen at Rhodes Island, appearing only when needed, and emit intense heat when excited or angry. While their true intentions remain unclear, their behavior raises intriguing questions worth investigating. Eyja is confirmed to be infected. She has a cell uriginum assimilation of 8% and a blood uriginum crystal density of 0.5 parts per liter, the highest in the game before Eyja Alter was released. It's noted in her medical file that her partial deafness and troubled eyesight is due to her high infection, and that the levels of her internal crystals are comparatively high. In her character art drawn by Onmi, Eyja wears a black, white, and slate gray dress with ruffled and button-up top, and singed and burned bottom beneath a torn, white, hooded cloak with red accent pieces of cloth, black thigh highs with garter belts, gray arm gloves, respirator worn around her neck, goggles hanging off the side of her arm, an infection monitor around her ankle, and boots that look like hooves. She holds her staff in her left hand. In her voice lines, voiced by Risa Taneda, who also voices Zenobia Quarta in High School DD, Rize Teresa in Is the Order a Rabbit, Queen in No Game No Life, Kaori Miyazono in Your Lie in April, Rory Mercury in Gate, Ai Mizuno in Zombieland Saga, Nachi, Ashigara, Haguro, Miyoko, Akashi, Samidare, Suzukaze, and Shoho in Kanko, Kotoa Tanaka in Idolmaster, Mash, Marie Antoinette, Matahari, and Kiyohime in Fate Grand Order, M1 Garand, MG3, and Thompson in Girls Frontline, Signet, Shokaku, and Zoikaku in Azure Lane, Azusa Shirasu in Blue Archive, and Yui in Precon. Aya often talks of her research and orapathy.
先輩、この前お借りした天才研究ノート、全部読んじゃいました。同じようなもの、他にまだありますか？何ですか？ああ、私の聴力悪化の原因ですか？実は、火山の近くで研究していた時に、オリパシーに感染してしまって、先輩からいただいた仕事の合間に、ケルシー先生の検査も受けないと。私の病状は、結構深刻な状態らしいんです。両親から引き継いだ研究を形にするには、もっと頑張らないと。もしこの研究の有用性を証明できたら、世界が驚く、とんでもない発見になるかも。私の両親は、もう亡くなりました。火山周辺で観測を行っていた時に、火砕流にあって、私、何があっても、両親の意思を受け継ぐつもりです。聴力だけでなく、視力も悪化してきていると、ケルシー先生から聞きました。オリパシーは、私をどこまで連れて行く気なんでしょうね。後ろにいるのがわかるのか、ですか？それは、先輩の体温を感じたからです。耳も目も悪くなりましたが、その分、他の感覚が鋭敏になっているというか、こう見えても私、なかなかしぶといんですよ。
At E2 level 90 with max trust, potential, and module, Aya has 1,923 HP, 827 attack, 122 defense, 20 resistance, a 70-second redeployment time, 19 DP cost, and has a roughly 1.6 second attack speed. Her range is the standard range for a core/single target caster. At max trust, she gets plus 90 attack. At max pot, she gets minus 2 DP cost, plus 27 attack, and a buff to both of her talents. Her first talent, Pyro Breath, at E2 pot 5, gives all casters plus 16% attack when Aya is deployed. Her second talent, Wildfire, at E2 pot 2, gives Aya 10 to 20 SP when deployed. Aya has two base skills, with one being unlocked at E2. Her first base skill, Volcanologist, when Aya is assigned to a factory, plus 35% productivity if producing Originum. Her second base skill, Catastrophe Messenger Beta, gives her plus 45% HR contacting speed. Aya's first skill, Duetto, gains SP over time and is manually triggered, lasting for 25 seconds at all levels. Level 7 starts with 20 SP and needs 39 SP to proc, while M3 starts with 25 and needs 35. At level 7, Aya gets plus 45 attack speed. Starting from the second use of her skill, she also gets plus 45% attack. At M3, it's plus 60 attack speed and plus 60% attack after second use. Her second skill, Ignition, gains SP over time and is automatically triggered. All levels start with 0 SP, with level 7 needing 6 SP to proc and M3 needing 5. At level 7, Aya deals 310% of her attack as arts damage in the next attack. Half damage is dealt to enemies around the target in a 1.5 unit radius. The main target gets minus 20% resistance for 6 seconds. Keep in mind, this is applied before Aya actually attacks them. And this can store 2 charges. At M3, it's 370% attack, minus 25% resistance for 6 seconds, and stores 3 charges. Her third skill, Volcano, gains SP over time and is manually triggered, with all levels lasting 15 seconds and needing 80 SP to proc. Level 7 starts with 40 SP, while M3 starts with 55. At level 7, Eya gets plus 85% attack, her range increases, her attack interval is reduced to 1.1 seconds, and her attack becomes a randomly shooting lava that can hit up to 5 enemies in range. At M3, it's plus 130% attack, and Eya is able to hit up to 6 enemies in range. Eya has a CCR-X module named Miss Sounds, which makes it so that Eya's attacks now ignore 10% of her target's resistance. In module level 3, Miss Sounds fully upgrades Pyro Breath, making it so that all caster operators gain plus 24% attack when Eya is brought along. She also gains plus 180 HP and plus 65 attack. To unlock and max out her module, you must have Eya at E2 level 60, have 100% trust with her, have your own Eya deal 100,000 damage, 3-star Heart of Surging Flames stage OF-5, deploying your own Eya and only having up to 3 other operators as the rest of the squad members, have 12 module data blocks, 60 data patching strips, 20 data patching devices, 2 polymerization preparations, 3 crystalline electronic units, 4 bipolar nanoflakes, and 300,000 LMD. There's a big reason why Eya is often said not to be totally power crept, if power crept at all, like some of the other release operators, and why she's the GOAT, pun intended. Starting with her talents, Pyro Breath is frankly amazing, since it gives a 16 to 24% buff, depending on if you have her module fully maxed out, to all casters' ops attacks when she's deployed, or even if she's just brought along if you have her module. Her other talent, Wildfire, is great if you need to quickly deploy Eya and use her S3 immediately. On the topic of skills, Eya manages to have 3 great ones. Her S1, Duetto, vastly raises her attack speed and her attack if you use it more than once. Her S2, Ignition, is one of the most popular AFK art skills to use, since she's essentially a pseudo AoE caster that does more damage than an AoE caster. And finally, her S3, Volcano, is a boss or massive enemy wave killer with fast attacks, a long-lasting skill, and massive damage. Her module is also well worth investing into for the resistance ignore and the buff to Pyro Breath. Eya does have her downsides too, however. A big one is the recharge on her S3, as all levels need a whopping 80 SP, 10 less than Silver Ash's True Silver Slash, just to proc. Not to mention the skill's random targeting. Her second talent, Wildfire, is literally a gamble, since you can get anywhere from 10 to 20 SP at E2 Pot 4 when you deploy Eya, which, depending on how tight the timing is, can mess things up. But even with those cons, she's still frankly amazing. A top priority to raise to E2 level 90, S2 M3, and S3 M3. Hell, even get her module and max that out. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Azure, Lane, and Girls Frontline videos as well. Just as a heads up, I will be taking a break throughout December and maybe a bit into January, so I'll see you sometime next year.